What happens when you threaten military action if certain conditions are not met, but you never follow through? You get an enemy that believes that consequences apply to everyone but him. Now, we may be even closer to World War III, all because of that delusional thinking. President Trump has spent months telling Iran to do X or to stop doing Y. If not, the U.S. will conduct a new wave of military strikes. He has also spent months calling off said strikes at the very last minute. He would say something along the lines of, I want to give negotiations a chance. If he wasn't saying that, he was saying that Iran has called him up and is begging to make a deal. The last time I checked, there has in fact been no such deal made. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how I'm going from the Iran-U.S. war and the fact that no agreement has been reached to World War III. Trust me, I will lay out my thought process. Just keep watching. Before we get into everything, I am trying to grow the channel. So if you could subscribe, that would really help. And while you're at it, like and share the video so that the algorithm knows to push it out to more people. Let's get into it. The 60-day negotiation window of the defunct MOU has officially closed, so that excuse is gone. The war of words continues with President Trump saying that he has directed American diplomats to stop all negotiations with Iran. Iran says that that's not true because there are no negotiations to stop. None. In other words, it's situation normal. One side says one thing, the other side says that's not true, and the world is left not knowing what to believe. Unless we're talking about the financial markets. The markets believe whatever tale will make them money, no matter how unbelievable that tale happens to be. If you don't believe me, take a look at the price of oil. It should be astronomical at this point, considering everything that's been going on. The market has chosen to believe every time President Trump says that there's going to be some kind of deal or some other reason to suggest that the war is going to come to an end in order to keep the price of oil below the threshold that they know would cause everything else in this economy to collapse. The markets may act like they think the war is over, but don't believe it for a minute. Iran doesn't believe it, so why should the rest of us? The Hormuz report posted this. Iran sees the next round of war as inevitable and is reportedly preparing direct attacks on U.S. military assets in southeastern Europe if Trump escalates further, per the Financial Times. Are you starting to see now how I'm getting to the possibility of World War III? Europe already has its hands full, worrying that Russia is going to invade NATO countries any minute now. The U.S. has been putting a good deal of effort into convincing everyone that Russia has been helping Iran with targeting, and now saying that Russia is direct supplying Iran with arms. Now, if Iran is threatening to hit Europe, that would just add to the paranoia. Don't get me wrong. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that they are not out to get you. We've been seeing for a couple of days now that Iran is saying that they are preparing to go on the offensive. Iran even went as far as to give the United States an ultimatum. They will give the U.S. a few weeks to fully give in to all of Iran's demands, or they will begin launching attacks. Iran's been winning the war so far. And if you don't believe me, here's what the Iranians have to say about it. The Americans have been removed and are no longer allowed to enter the Persian Gulf, the Sea of Oman, or the Strait of Hormuz. Everyone should know that the American bases will never return to their previous status, and Iran will never allow this. Did you know that I am fluent in sarcasm? If you didn't, you do now. This is what you get when President Trump doesn't follow through with his threats to bomb Iran back into the Stone Age if they don't start acting right. They think they've won and that the United States is incapable of dealing with them. The people that run Iran think the U.S. is unwilling to inflict pain. For better or worse, pain, suffering, and fatality are the languages that Iran understands. Iran has used those same languages to communicate both foreign and domestically since 1979. The U.S. has not been using that language in the war so far. That's why Iran thinks that they can get away with these threats and more. Things like threatening to cut undersea internet cables, offering cash bounties for Americans, living or not, and telling the world they are ready for preemptive strikes. Please see the previous comments about Iran threatening to attack Europe. The IRGC Navy is not only shooting at ships in the Hormuz, which they're still doing, but they're also engaging in piracy and seizing ships. Some of these people are even delusional enough to encourage the IRGC to mine the waters off the Florida coast. Clearly, they have no clue exactly how badly that would go for them. Somebody needs to do this guy a favor and send him a video, any video about Florida Man. Iran may think that they've won the game of war against the United States, but they absolutely have another thing coming if they think they can win a militarized game of Survivor in the Florida Everglades. If they try to mess with Florida Man, that's exactly where they may end up. I'm even willing to bet that a bunch of Louisiana coonasses will even be so kind as to join in and introduce themselves to any IRGC personnel they find. Let me know in the comments how you think that would go. While it's entertaining to think about IRGC terrorists having an up close and personal moment with a gator in the swamps of Florida, that meeting is not very realistic. This next bit of information could, however, be horrifically realistic. Marjorie Taylor Greene. You remember her. She is saying that the Trump administration is discussing the use of nuclear weapons against Iran. She goes on to say that she isn't speculating that this is being talked about. She says that she knows that it is being discussed. Unfortunately, she doesn't say how she knows. I'm not naive enough to think that this is outside of the realm of possibility, but I do have to wonder where she would get this information from. If there were some kind of leak from within these discussions, one would think that more than one person would be willing to tell the world all about it. I'm willing to bet that every news agency in DC would shell out lots of dollars for that scoop. On the other hand, MTG resigned from Congress not all that long ago over disputes that she had with President Trump. This wouldn't be the first time that political figures made things up to get back at a rival. Am I saying that that's what's going on? No, because I have no clue. We're going to just have to wait and see how this one pans out. In the meantime, no actual mushroom clouds are necessary for world leaders to get antsy. If other nations think there is the possibility of Trump hitting the nuclear button, that could be used as an argument for preemptive action. I'm looking at you, Iran. If this leads to a mushroom cloud and a glow in the dark scenario, then others may feel free to take the same actions on whoever they think is a threat. The escalating rhetoric pointing to a wider war just keeps coming. If things don't resolve and de escalate soon, World War III becomes more and more of a possibility. What can we do about it? Overall, nothing. But what we can do is continue to stay informed and continue to prep. Encourage those around us to do the same. I'm not telling you that the world is about to end, but I am saying that every day it looks more and more like troubling times are ahead for us all. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you in the next video.